Shane is on front row with me, Charlene Chamberlain. Hi, I'm Charlene Chamberlain, and welcome to Front Row. She's an actress, a musician, a songwriter, and an author. Her music will rock you, hug you, and soothe you. Her name's Shane, and she's my guest today. Welcome, Shane. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Charlene. I'm so excited to be here. You don't know, I've been waiting for this.
Oh, and I've been waiting for you to join me, so this is great. I have a question. What was the very first record that you purchased?
The very first record that was purchased for me was, it was an album that my dad had gotten for me for my birthday, and it was the Monkees.
Oh boy, I was a big Monkees fan.
I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Mary, Mary, where are you going?
Mm-hmm.
Last Train to Clarksville.
Pleasant Valley Sunday.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We could start singing.
Mm-hmm. No.
But the first record I think I purchased was, it had to have been a Beatles album. They were all albums back then.
Right.
I would save my money from doing chores in the house, and I didn't want just one record. I wanted the albums. And it started with the Beatles, and eventually progressed into, in the '60s, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and all the way up through Woodstock, and on from there. All the greats. I watched them all hit the stage. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, all of them. Buffalo Springfield made their entrance, and they became overnight sensations. There was something magical in their music.
I am a big Buffalo Springfield fan.
Mm-hmm.
Still am today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every single one had their own style, their original style. I really miss that. I really miss those days too. There was quite a lot going on, and it was mostly love. Of course, we had the Vietnam War and all that, but that was all political. The part about the people and the planet and what was going on in the universe was basically love and unity and brotherhood and brotherly love among themselves. And you could be at a concert, and you can be as young as I was, sneaking in, maybe 14, 15.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that.
And you'd be sitting next to someone in their
40s,
70s maybe too,
yeah,
maybe. With the long hair, and it's like they jokingly be like, "Hey, Grandpa, cool."
Right. And
cool
then
shirt.
they would pass you something.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but yes.
We can go there.
Yeah, and they'd be right there, like digging the music. Look, I'm saying, cool, digging it. And, flower power, flower child, peace, just so much good going on, and nobody really ever thought of wanting to hurt anyone. They just enjoyed the music and the times, and so much creativity came out of that. And then, of course, capitalism put its claw in, and politics put its claw in. And a lot of people don't realize how beautiful underneath all of that, the beauty of all that. So that, I still have that. I'm still around. And I want to bring all that back, if we can, into a new age era to fit the times worldwide on the planet.
Well, that would be wonderful if that could happen.
It all started with, what's your first album, right?
I know. See that? That was a really long answer.
It's life. It's life.
So I'm going to pass right by the next question, because we already talked about your early influences. Mm-hmm. How old were you when you discovered music?
I was almost 4 years old, and I remember asking my parents, it was for my birthday, that I wanted a piano, and they said, well, you don't even know what a piano is. And I described it. Till this day, I still don't know how I did know what a piano was. We didn't have friends in the family or anyone that had a piano. I wasn't in school yet, but I wanted a piano. So at Christmas time, I said, I don't want anything from Santa Claus. I just want a piano. If I can just have that. And my family, since I was the firstborn on both sides, my family, it's a big Italian family on both sides. They all got together and chipped in and said, get her the piano.
Oh, how nice is that?
And I got this piano, and instead of being a problem to get me to play it, it was trying to get me off it.
Mm-hmm.
I would make up songs. I was playing things by ear on the radio, and my mom and dad got me formal classical piano lessons.
How old were you when you started taking lessons?
I was around, I guess, close to 5. I think when I started, close to 5. I was ready to start kindergarten, and there was someone in the school system when my mom took me up to do the registering and everything that mentioned we have a piano teacher, we have music lessons.
In school?
Yeah, and one of the piano teachers, Mrs. Brown, she took me under her wing before school started, and I had lessons with her. I still remember her. She had this bun in her hair. She had long hair. Very
Mine
pleasant.
did too. I started class at 7, so I similar experience.
She was a pleasant person too, and she made it fun.
And she made it enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's why you stayed with it.
Right. The John Thompson book.
Oh, I have them.
And I'd sing. Like I knew a song, and it would be like 2 lines of the song, but it was a song. I was playing a song and singing it. Then I make up a dance. I mean, it's just crazy. I was little. Well, come to think of it, I can do it now. I still do it now.
You didn't outgrow it, and that's a good thing.
Not so crazy. Can you rewind that? I'm making money with this. Wait. No.
So you continued on with your piano studies, and then at 14 you entered a contest.
Yeah, my mom and dad made me enter this contest because I just wanted to play by myself in the house, and perhaps sometimes at church I would play the organ there and play for friends, but I was quite shy, believe it or not. I really was shy. So she, said, you're going to do something with this. You're really good, and build up your confidence. So I did, and I won. I won first place.
Wow. You were shocked, probably.
Shocked. I was shocked.
What did you play?
It was Sonata Pathétique by Beethoven.
Okay.
And it's like 100 pages of memory, and I was studying under Raimondo Marquez. He was one of the directors at Settlement School of Music in Pennsylvania. Oh my gosh, he was tough, very strict, and he studied under Paderewski, the statesman, the politician in Poland. And he was an immigrant, and he made sure that I knew it all the time. Like, you don't know what, life was so hard, and if you're going to be a musician, you have to do it because you love it. And I said, I do love it. You don't love it enough.
But I do.
And he hit in the back of you did not practice right from the first time you hit the keyboard. But
they know. Those teachers know.
Yeah. And so I won, and I just was like shocked. I remember freezing up, and there were cameras all on my face, and my mom was crying, my family was crying. It was at the convention hall in Camden, and it was quite safe back then. So now I'm aging myself. It's okay. But it was the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Star Herald, and the Courier. They all were, look this way. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you.
And you're a shy little girl.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what are you going to talk to me about? What do I have to talk about? I was just so concerned about making sure every note was exactly the way I was supposed to have practiced it. So I made a lot of people proud, my teachers and the family and all too. So it was a really good thing. And then I got home, and I was getting letters from people I didn't even know.
Fan letters?
Yes. And I didn't even know what that was. And then I was asked to be on the Mike Douglas show. I did that.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I the award included, it was a monetary award, a scholarship with Juilliard School of Music in New York.
That's wonderful. Really wonderful opportunity.
My parents wouldn't allow me to go to New York. They said I'm too young.
Oh.
They wanted to protect me. So instead, the people and directors, the board of directors at Juilliard, who fund everything, they had a big meeting, and they made it a monetary value for continue my
studies
lessons
here. Right.
Yes.
That's great.
Madam Sokoloff was one. She was associated with the school, the Institute of Music, and of course Raimondo Marquez. I did a lot of training with him because he would come out to the house in a tuxedo, and he would really, I know.
Wow.
And you should see my brothers and sister. They would be laughing. They'd be
Of
like,
course.
"Your piano teacher's here with the bow tie," and I'd be like, "Stop, because I'm gonna get in trouble," because.
Yeah, I can't laugh. I have to be serious
Yeah.
when I take this class.
But he would make me do those exercises. They were called hertz, HERZ or HERTZ,
Mm-hmm.
and they hurt,
Yes.
really hurt.
I
But
know.
I knew that there was a dramatic difference in the way I was taking lessons with him than any other,
Yeah.
instructor.
So
Cut a record.
you cut a record with Capitol,
Capitol
right?
Records. It was located in Camden.
And what was the piece?
So I did the piece
The
that
same
I
piece?
won, yeah. Sonata Pathétique by Beethoven, and also I did one by Jean Sibelius, Finlandia,
Okay.
which I did because it was our school song.
Oh, wow.
That piece was that they used that music.
Mm-hmm.
Proudly we stand and raise our voice in song. Soar Eagle Soar, Paul VI. So I played that, and it was a nice surprise. And when I did the show on Mike Douglas and also on WCAM with Pat Delsey,
Oh, sure. I know. I just saw Pat Delsey a
And
couple weeks ago.
Dave Michaels, his son,
Mm-hmm.
Paul, the principal, Father von Hartleben, he told the school that they had to stop what they were doing because he wanted them to hear something. It's a very important announcement.
Uh-oh.
And the whole school heard the whole segment
Oh, my gosh.
that I did on the TV show and the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that until I came back to school, and they're like, "We heard you,
That was really nice that they were very supportive.
yes.
Nowadays, I don't know if that would have happened. But back then, yeah.
Well, when I asked for my slip, because I had to have a slip
Excuse.
to,
Mhm.
excuse slip, it said dismissed for radio show right on it. He said, "Now you're going to mention Paul VI, right?"
On the radio, right.
So I said,
Of
"Sure."
course.
So he already knew, so that was real fun, really was.
So fast forward, after that, you decided to venture to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you find?
In my first round with
Mhm.
New York, okay, it was the American Guild of Actors and Composers. It was like a songwriting guild, and then so many levels more, because you're not just a songwriter in New York. You have to have stage presence. You have to have a mind that's a business mind, the whole package. They want what's called the look. The look is being yourself.
Right.
Smile, get along with others. There's no games involved. The way you project yourself on the stage or in your music is who you are. They want to know who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and they want that person to stay that they're investing in. So
Right.
I learned so much, and I knew how to write songs, but it was so much more that I had to learn. So they taught me how to hone my craft as well.
Mhm.
So that was a trade-off, that big trek to New York and
Yeah.
sitting through those grueling meetings. And then that all paid off in the end because I learned a lot. And however, when I came back to New Jersey, things were getting quite different in the music industry. It was going into rap and et cetera. And,
Yeah. What years? What year? 80s?
in late 80s and 90s. So I had enough. I was being like pigeonholed, you name it. I was like pushed aside, and I wasn't being respected. That's the correct word, I guess,
Yeah.
that I'm going to use, like I was in New York. And I don't believe in fleeing,
No. But sometimes enough is enough too. And
Enough
you
was
need
enough.
to get out and regroup.
So quite a few things happened, and what I did was I said, okay, fine. Now I'm keeping all the songs. Nobody gets them. How do you like me now? And I was also training with martial arts, and my master of martial arts happened to be the head of homicide in Camden, New Jersey,
Oh my.
James Thornton with the prosecutor's office. And he said, you might want to try a real career in law enforcement and do something with that talent.
Well, I wondered how you got into that. Okay.
Me too.
So,
'Cause
this is very interesting. So, what happened?
well, I wanted to hurt a few people. That's why I was really in martial
You were
arts.
to get strong and tough.
And I learned how to protect myself, which I needed. I really needed that in these clubs and the casinos and all this. That I was by myself, taking me, my equipment, and booking these events.
Yeah.
And I had very disgruntled booking agents around me. Freddie Baker, remember that name?
Oh, I know Freddie Baker.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
A long time ago.
oh yeah, and it was really rough. So they said, "Oh, you think you're going to do this?" I said, "Oh, I know I'm going to do this." So
I got my martial arts training now. I can do it.
So, well, the prosecutor actually found me in a club, and he said, "What is it that you do exactly?" And he said, "Because I follow you because of his line of business." He opened up his jacket in the club, and I saw the badge, and I was like,
Uh-oh.
"What the heck is going on?" But I felt safe and scared at the same time,
Right.
because I thought, "Oh, I have protection." But he said, "You wouldn't last." He said, I have a school. I train too. And I bet you wouldn't, you won't even come." And he said, "You need to get those legs in shape anyway." Because he was tough. So I went down there. I went there. It was in the top floor of the library in Camden on Broad Street. And I showed up. And there was all these guys in these, karate uniforms. He said, "Shizunta Hut." He bowed in, and they all turned, like the military turn, like you can cut it with a knife, and it was so impressive. They all bowed exactly, and
In sync, right?
exactly, and he said, "This is my friend," and they were all undercover cops, and I didn't.
You didn't know it.
I didn't know it, and I thought they looked familiar, but
Right.
so. I just felt real safe, and I thought it was quite funny because I'm like, this is really going to be funny. I'm going to train with them too.
Yeah. Were you the only female in the class?
No, there were a few.
Right.
They were tough though.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was the only white female in the class, and but as we spoke about different things, I said it kind of evolved. I said, "What am I doing in that music business anyway? Because these people are talking intelligent. I can do something with my heart and my feelings and the way I can connect with people and touch people with what I do. Maybe I can get some animals off the street, and
Right.
not literally
Right.
them too, but
Or some people too.
that's what I'm saying. Not convert them, but just give them a little help there. And then I just had enough of the music industry because it was just night and day. So I went into law enforcement.
Wow.
Should I go on?
Yes. Go on. I think we need to find out what happened after that.
So then I met the real criminals.
Right.
They were quite unlike the ones
That you see on CSI.
yeah, and they weren't like the officers that I trained with in martial arts that said that this was really good for me to go into law enforcement because I can make a difference. What they failed to tell me was that there was so much corruption
I'm sure.
in the ranks, in blue, in uniform. So they were ready to kill me.
So you were trying to make it all right, I'm sure.
Because I said I went to the academy. It was like 6 months training at Skillman, and
Wow.
it was serious. It was serious training at boot camp. It was just really rough because you had to get ready to be locked in with as many as at least 150, criminals that are murderers, gang lords, criminally insane that, the drugs don't even make a dent.
Wow.
But from what I went through in the, music business, I'm like,
Piece of cake.
they're called
Right.
promoters and,
Right.
agents. And some of the crazy people in the business that are musicians, and because I've seen a lot. So now I had my training to protect myself, and I found the inmates quite amusing because they were the most respectful to me because I walked on there because of my training in martial arts, and my training in New York, how to carry myself, it was like I commanded the stage. I also had training. It's a specialized FBI training. That's critical incident stress management team. I was always the strong one for everyone. I was always the one helping everyone because I feel that need that if I can do it, don't look to the next person.
That's your nature. Yeah.
So while I was recovering from that, I was getting back on my feet, and I got a phone call, and they said, "Are you watching the TV?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" Because I knew what was going through my mind. They said, "We need you." It was from New York. The call was from New York. I said, "Need me to do what?" They said, "We need you here. I need you to be a team leader." I said, it looked to me like a world war.
Yes.
And
we're talking about 9/11 now.
Yes, 9/11. And I knew I have all this training, and I knew I could reach out, but what exactly am I going to do? I didn't have training in this. I just have, he said, "You're going to do what you do best." I was actually told to call you specifically because they were trying to clear people all the way through the ranks. I mean, highest ranks you can imagine, and it was very difficult because everything was very sketchy and there was so much chaos.
Yeah, nobody really knew what was going on.
We didn't know
for a couple of days even.
Whose side anybody was on, but they knew that they needed help immediately for these firefighters and police officers that witnessed this and lost their partners, their loved ones, their captains, their sergeants.
Right, their colleagues. Yeah.
They were more like a close-knit family. They'd have like a brother as a fireman and a sister as an officer and somebody doing rescue.
Dispatcher, right.
Yeah. So I said,
you did go.
Okay.
You answered the call.
And they said, "Well, we'll disclose the location that you're to meet. I'll get back to you." So there was like 3 points, meeting points, because all the bridges were closed. But I had to be cleared, and a state trooper picked me up at each designated point, and officers just crying out.
Right.
So then your instinct just goes, your heart goes.
Sure.
So I had to blank that out. That's what I deal with now. I still go to counseling, and I'm not afraid to say that.
No. It's a healthy thing to do.
It is, because there's no place to put what I was blocking out. It was there. It was like in your face, all of our faces.
Yeah.
And
look, I will never forget those images, ever.
It was, and what they didn't even know how to tackle the mounds or what to do. It was like, and so I would hear this screaming, and I'd hear also the guys behind me screaming on the blue tarps, like, no, I mean, on and on for weeks and months like that. And then in the background of these heaps were the screeching metal that was still on fire.
Right.
And it was like, I mean, I still have that in my head. It's it was so eerie. It was like I was in the bowels of hell.
Now, so you stayed in New York for what, about 4 or 5 months?
4 months. 4 months I was there. I went back and forth. Most of the time in the beginning of the 2 months, I stayed there it was a cot, an army cot, made out of canvas in the wood, crisscross. Yeah, that was me. The first week, from Tuesday to Friday, we were all so hypervoxium. Like, I'm clear my lungs, my body still knows I'm there.
To react to a story, right?
I'm still working all that out. But from Tuesday to Friday, I didn't even know those days took place because there was no electricity, no water, no gas. So everything was just pitch black except for this glow that was coming from where the buildings were.
Right.
That reached the sky. And we were so hyper vigilant, all of us, that when someone said, I'm doing the Friday, someone came in and he was cleared, and I had to, verify that on my radio with center command, and he said, I'm doing the whole Friday. I said, well, you're doing the whole Friday, then why are you here? He just looked at me, and I was so busy worrying about everybody else, and I said, what's today?
Right.
They said Friday, and
Oh yeah, you lost total track of
I
time.
didn't sleep. I was on my feet in that whole mile radius, actually a half mile in the very beginning, making sure these guys were okay, and they were just made sure they weren't going into shock. So what I saw was all normal, but not shock. They were throwing up. They
Oh
were
my God, yeah.
passing out and coming to. And they were trying to breathe, breaking out in sweats. See, I've never gone in detail like this, talking about this. Crying. Some that were just so tortured their face that they needed to cry. That's what I did.
I want to thank you for everything you did.
Thank you.
It takes a very strong person to do that with a very strong heart, and thank you, Shane, from the bottom of my heart for that. Let's fast forward.
Okay.
Now that we got through that,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
I hear that you're working with Andy Kravitz, who is
Yeah.
an award-winning producer. You okay? Do you need tissue?
Yeah, I am laughing to myself too when we switch gears, because ironically, what helps me get through this is part of my therapy was finding what makes me happy, and it was the music again, of all things. So my music that I gave up became my therapy, and I was fortunate enough to meet with, some of the greatest right off the bat. I picked up where I left off. The Hooters were my next step before I quit, actually. That was supposed to be lined up for me. I just had enough. But ironically, it was Andy Kravitz, which was the producer.
And for folks that aren't familiar with Andy Kravitz, he's an award-winning producer, and he's a drummer.
Yes.
And he's worked with Criss Cross, Cypress Hill, Steady B, and Shane.
Yes.
And she's also worked with Rob Hyman of the Hooters.
Yes. And John Sr.
And John Sr., that's right.
He reminds me of my piano teacher. He's very strict, very old school, and I think that's why that worked out. Because these people that I'm talking about, they're really tough to work with, but to be able to work with them on a regular basis really says something, about your character and how much you really want it.
Sure.
Wish they'd smile a lot more, but
Well, you can get them to do that.
yeah.
So, did you just finish up a studio album?
Yes. No, I'm working on finishing up the second album. I just finished up one of the tracks that's going to be
Okay.
used on my music video that I'm doing on Tuesday. It's called
Let's talk about that.
I Could See Through You.
And what's it about?
It's it's being able to see through people and holding all that in, because that's coming from deep inside of me, all the things that I was able to see through. And when you talk, it just falls on deaf ears. So you just write another song. So what a glorious thing to be able to put it on film and act it out in a nice way.
Right.
I love this director because he's like, you have to be there promptly by 9:30.
As
And
a schedule.
we have the scene we're doing here, and we're doing the next scene there. And if we have time, we'll do this.
Have you worked with him in the past?
Yes, he did my other two videos. We've Got the Power, which is Martin Luther King tribute. And I'll Climb the Highest Stairs about 9/11.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song.
I can't believe I tackled that and I did it because that came from a place.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful song.
Yeah.
Your music is available on CD Baby.
That's right, cdbaby.com.
Where can our listeners find you?
Well,
Are
on
you on
YouTube you
on
can. Facebook, if you go on Facebook, you'll see me. I'm Songwriting Shane. And you can also upload my YouTube videos by putting Shane, We've Got the Power, or Shane, I'll Climb the Highest Stairs. And the next one will be Shane, I Can See Through You. So,
When do you expect that to be released?
I hope at the end of this week, because if I shoot Tuesday, maybe by Friday.
Oh, that's exciting.
I'm hoping. I think so. I think we could do it.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would love it if you would play a little bit for us. How do you feel about that?
Sure, I'll play.
Great.
On this grand piano here that's reconditioned from the 1920s.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
You're just a moon child gazing in the sky. You're just a moon child. You're just a moon child reading all the signs. You're just a moon child. The future's hazy for newborn babes. Politicians running and gone. Hatred is killing all of mankind, and now we need our nation strong. You're just a moon child gazing in the sky. You're just a moon child. You're just a moon child reading all the signs. You're just a moon child. More space is needed on the ground, and fighting is everywhere around. Could there be an answer? Is peace its name? And is there ever an end? You're just a moon child gazing in the sky. You're just a moon child. You're just a moon child reading all the signs. You're just a moon child. You're just a moon child. You're just a moon child. That is called Moonchild, and I hope that that does get a lot of listeners, and it reaches and touches a lot of hearts, and their heart and their minds connect to get that message. Wake up. Everyone needs to wake up around the world. Okay, this is, I'll give you a little tidbit of what the acoustic version of See Through You is really sounding like, the way I wrote it. It's going to be in the video coming up. Hey baby with the sad eyes on, hey baby with the blue eyes shining, walk into my line of fire. I could see through you, every little teardrop, baby, and every little smile on your face, every expression in love. I could see through it, 'cause I see inside. I could see through you inside. I could see through you inside. I could see through you inside. could see the love in you. I could see through you. Every little thing you do, your side I'd show it. I could see the love in you. I could see through you. And every little thing you do, your eyes are saying, touch me. I could see through you, touch me. I could see through you, touch me. I could see through you, touch me. Every little heartbeat, baby, and every little smile on your face, every expression in love, I could see through it. So baby with the sad eyes on, baby with the blue eyes shining, walk into my line of fire, 'cause I could feel you all the way inside, up all the way inside. I feel you inside. Take me inside. I need you inside. La 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 la, la 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 la. Oh 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 oh. La 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 la, la 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 la. Oh 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 oh. La 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 la, la 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 la. Oh 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 oh. Oh oh oh. Okay, so that was I Can See Through You, and that's the song that I'm going to be doing in the music video on Tuesday that I'm so excited about doing.
And that was truly beautiful. Shane, thank you so much for being here today and playing for us. We really, really enjoyed it.
It was a pleasure playing on your piano and visiting with you in your home. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Songwriting Shane and Charlene signing off for Front Row. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everyone. Oh.